that crawls up at the top, the other crab snatched the other one down. So we all trying to get to the top. And that's the spirit of the world, by the way. Now, we went over these 5 words: envy, jealousy, covetous, and vainglory. Those 5 words that we went over, that is pretty much the same spirit that works together. Those spirits, they pretty much, they operate side by side, hand by hand. They pretty much go together. And we're dealing with envy and jealousy. So in other words, if you got envy, you got covetous. If you got jealousy, you got covet, envy, and you got vainglory. They all work side by side, hand by hand. Now, I want to deal kind of with the nature of envy and jealousy. I want to deal with the nature of it. And the nature of it is man's lustful desire and gratification. Gratification means never satisfied, always wanting more. And according to Galatians 5:21, we know that envy is one of the works of the flesh. And also the nature of it is that it basically ties into the spirit of the world. And I want to break that down, basically how that ties into the spirit of the world. Because in other words, when you have envy in your heart, you pretty much are worldly. You know, you're pretty much worldly. And I want to break that down. And that's coming out of 1 John 15 and 16 is the verse. I had my bookmarker in here, but it disappeared, but I'll still find it. Okay, and I said 2, 15, and 16.
John or 1 John?
1 John, the second chapter, verse 15 and 16. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Verse 16, listen to this. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father. And it goes on and says, but is of the world. It's not of the Father, but it is of the world. So another way, how I'm going to break this down is dealing with the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the desire of the flesh. So many times we desire to look like somebody, the lust of the flesh. We desire to be like somebody, or we desire to be better than somebody. That is a lust, that is a desire. And so many times when we try to look like somebody, or we try to be like somebody, 9 times out of 10, we envy them. We're jealous of them. The lust of the eye. You see somebody on your job, they getting promoted. You see somebody getting ready to get a brand new house, brand new car. The lust of the eye. Then all of a sudden, we're lusting. And 9 times out of 10, a person with envy and jealousy, they lust after that and they operate in that type of spirit. The pride of life, where you have to exalt yourself. You got to be better than people. And you have to exceed more higher than others. The pride of life. So that type of thing, the envy and jealousy, it ties into the spirit of the world. And it talks about in the Bible that is what's in the world. And if you have that, the love of the Father is not in you. Now I want 1 Corinthians 3 and 3, because that kind of gives even also illustration dealing with what I just said on how, it's of the world. Now Paul is asking a question. He says, for ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying, there go that word, envying and strife and division, are ye not carnal? He asking the question, are ye not carnal and walk as men? He's asking that question. So basically, when you're dealing with envy and jealousy, all of that is of the world. It is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. And also what ties into that of dealing with the lust of the eye, when you see somebody with something and you want it, then you got covet. We just went over the definition of that. When you desire to have what somebody else had. That's what covet means. Now I'm going to deal with the general personality of somebody who has envy and jealousy. Just the general personality of a person who has it. The first would be deception. Their personality, which means they are a very deceptive person. You know, they will use flattery words. Oh, girl, you look cute. Oh, how you doing? And you know, and they'll say little certain things, you know. But that's only just because they don't want you to figure them out. Because most people that are jealous and have envy, they don't want you to know that they're jealous of you. So deception is working behind it. And so they will use flattery words, you know, certain little words, because they don't want you to pinpoint them. They don't want you to figure them out. The second is their personality. You know, they're pretty much of a fake, phony person. Very, very hypocritical. They will smile. They will speak, you know, ask how you doing, but that's as far as it goes. Because a person that hates you, they're not going to, that's as far as it goes. There's certain limits when it comes to somebody with envy. Because a person with envy, they automatically have hate in their heart. And we're going to go even further into that. The third one is backbite. People that their personality, they have a jealousy spirit, they will talk about you behind your back. They will talk about you like a dog. They will slander your name and kill your character. And the fourth one is they are selfish. That is just automatically a selfish spirit when somebody is operating in envy and jealousy. Now, they will do something for you, but it's automatically to benefit them. They're not going to do something, and see, the thing about it is, a person that has envy in their heart, it's hard for them to love. See, genuine love, agape love, unconditional love, it does not expect anything in return. But a person that has problem with loving, and they also got envy in their heart, they'll do something for you, but there's something behind it. It's to benefit them, so that's where that selfishness comes in at. So these are 5 personalities of someone with envy and jealousy. Now I'm going to get into what you were talking about earlier, and this is coming out of Galatians 5:26, and it's dealing with the spirit of competition. And the word that I'm going to be touching upon is emulation, because that pretty much represents competition. Now, emulation, according to Galatians 5:20, is one of the works of the flesh. It means competition. And I want to talk about how the spirit of competition, how it breeds envy and jealousy. And I want to start at Galatians 5:26. And after I read this, then I want Sister Rhonda, to read it in the Life Application Bible after I read mine. Galatians chapter 5, verse 25 and 26. And this is dealing with how the spirit of competition, how it breeds envy and jealousy. How it provokes people to envy and envy and be jealous of other people. Okay, it says in verse 25, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory. And see, we talked about vainglory. When you're trying to desire to be popular, well-known, famous, and all this and